Morning, YouTube. What's happening? Working on the old vet. Let me see here. Y'all can see here I got all my everything ripped out of it. I'm trying to track down a no start, no dash lights, no tones, no LCD. Cleaning all my connections, checking all the wiring down here. Put my new clutch pedal in. Just got that done. Y'all don't mind the wiring. It's in a work in progress. Anyway, there's your starter interrupt relay right there on a 1990. You know, I was reading some posts and a lot of people were saying it's up behind the information center, but as you can see on this car, all the information center is out. CCM is packed way up under here. In order to get to it, I would have to take this plate out right here, this plate right here, to get in there and clean those connectors. And I do have a, sorry about the video, I do have a little mouse nest up in there. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but there's a little mouse nest right up in there. So I got to get up in there and clean all that out, check my connections. I'm not getting power to my starter or my dash lights and stuff, and I've checked all my grounds and everything, and I think it's a power wire maybe. I've checked my fusible links, they seem to be okay. But I got my new clutch pedal in, the old clutch pedal right here. I guess what happened was the little master cylinder there for the clutch was froze up, and they pushed so hard on this pedal that it bent it both ways. You can see the little pin up here is bent up and out, and it would only come up about halfway. They pushed on it so hard. So when you're working on these things, if your master cylinder's froze up, don't push on it like Codan the Barbarian. It's either going to go or it's not. So, you know, it just causes more work for someone else, you know, when you do stuff like that. So right in here is where the clutch master cylinder goes, up in that little hole right up in here. I know you can't see it, but there's a few junction block. Checked all my fusible links. Everything seems to be good right there. Then there's another fusible link over here. I checked that, and that's good. Not sure. I straight wired my starter. Well, I jumped it from a positive to the purple wire right here on the bulkhead. And the starter sounds great. The engine spun over. So I'm not sure yet what the issue is with me not getting it. It could be my ignition switch too, because this car sat for a long time and the connections are like green. You know, they got that green corrosion on them. And ignition switch is up in here. Up on the, I know y'all can't probably see it, but up on top of the steering column back in there. And you can see right up under here, sharp light goes where you don't want it to, like right up in here. It's right up behind there. There's your dimmer switch right there. So it's bolted to that up in there. The factory shop manual says to take the whole steering column out. But I think if you take these two bolts out right here and drop it down, it's going to be tight to get to. But I think if you take your time, you can probably get your ignition switch out right here. So I'm going to go ahead and change that out while I got everything tore apart. And I checked my VATs. My key is reading right, but my lock cylinder, y'all see that, is a little funky. And if it's got any kind of resistance, it'll throw that anti-theft system on. So I may end up changing that out too. I'll have to take the steering wheel apart to do that. And went to Harbor Freight yesterday and got me a steering wheel puller and all that good jazz. And you got that little lock plate behind here. You have to press down on it and get the snap ring off of it to get the steering wheel off. And it's a tilt wheel, and I may tighten that up too while I'm in there. It's not bad, but it's a little loose. But anyway, got my clutch pedal in. I got to do the slave cylinder. Got new parts over here. Y'all don't mind the junk. This right here is my new hydraulic line from my slave cylinder to my clutch master cylinder, $120. Right here is the mega part. This right here is my new sending unit. Bought it off eBay. The only one I could find in the United States for a ZR-1. Right there it is. See, it's got 2 fuel pumps on it. This came out of a 1994. So, this is going to go into my ride. I'm going to show y'all what the old one looked like. Right here. This is what happens when you park a car and leave it. You know, check that out. That's all that's left of my whole sending unit. The rest of it's down in the tank. And I got the tank about 3/4 cleaned out now. I'm going to keep it because it has a rubber bladder in it, and the tank itself is fine. I just got to get the crud out of it. So I'm working on that now, and it's going to take me a little time. Taking one victory at a time with this car, but I'm definitely going to get it going. I'm not even going to attempt to start it until I get my clutch, brakes, get my wiring straightened out on here. And I don't think it's anything real major. I think the first guy that owned this car took care of it. I just think sitting is the worst thing you can do with a car, man. It's the worst thing you can do for one. You know, you see them rotting all over the place and people won't get rid of them. Let them just sit there and rot. But I'm going to bring this bad boy back. She's on the brink, but I'm going to bring her back. Right here's the fuel tank. I don't know if you guys can see down in there. Probably not. Let me get a flashlight. I think I've got one here somewhere. But I hate to make too long of a video, but I just wanted to let you guys see what's going on. I don't know. Let's see. There's a little tray right there. That little tray is where your fuel pump sock sits in, that little tray right there. You see all the crud in there? I still got to get all that out, but I'm going to get it. It's not no, you know, it looks like crap, but it's not as bad as it actually looks. You know, I can get it cleaned out, so that's going to be another one of my missions because I want to save this tank. The aftermarket tanks don't have rubber bladders in them. So anyway, making progress, man. The clutch pedal wasn't bad to put in. You got to take a lot of stuff apart to get to it. But once you get in there, you can take the bolts out of it, and it comes right out. You got to take the slave master cylinder off because it holds it on the firewall there. And I may send my instrument cluster to batkey.com. This guy rebuilds them. He seems to be a cool guy. He's got some cool videos, and he shows you how to do it yourself. But I don't know. I'm pretty good mechanic, but when it comes to electronics, I don't have all the finesse in the world. I'm kind of rough. But Mike can do it. I don't know. Anyway, she's tore apart, and I'm getting there. But thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a good day.